Good day to you, ladies and gentlemen, this is Hipopotopulus here. Welcome to another episode of Nobody Asked Me But I Still Wanna Say. So, a little updates about channel. I wouldn't do daily videos anymore. I would make like one video in 2 to 3 days because I don't see a lot of engagement and like views, comments, etc. Thank you for all of you who commented on videos and put in a like and watch my videos, but I'm not very discoverable on YouTube and I need to find a job, so I don't have a lot of time. In the previous months or two I've been doing like a project for my PhD and I had a lot of free time, but now I'm searching for the job. I don't have a free time anymore, so I would not make that much videos unless it helps me live through my life and it would get me some kind of payoff to not do the normal job. I don't know. So today I want to talk about addiction, and huge alert and disclaimer, this video will contain phrases like smoking, alcohol. I don't know if I should do this, but yeah, we'll talk about a little bit about alcohol and cigarettes. And if you're underage, don't watch this. Maybe like watch it with a real careful, because alcohol and cigarettes are very addictive. You should not do this. And I found out, like watching my videos, that it sounds a little bit odd, like I am either reading or like I am an AI, but I'm just saying my things like out of the blue. I don't know how to put it, and my thought process makes it really hard to think and talk at the same time, and I refuse to write a text because it's just stupid for my opinion. This is the type of videos when I just saying my things, saying stuff from my head, how I can see it, and making text would ruin the whole immersion and the whole experience of you getting into my head. So let's start. I've noticed some things that I hadn't realized before, that I became addicted to certain habits, to certain things. So when I really realized it, I didn't like it at all, because I didn't and I don't like that I addicted to some things. And my addiction, like for many people, it was to cigarettes, especially electronic ones. In my childhood, when I was in high school, it was like a way to blend into society, and after this, like a way to deal with my challenges in my life with like stress, etc. And in the first year of my university, I found that electronic cigarettes exists, and that fear was like growing. It was really big at that time, and a lot of people said that e-cigarettes was healthier, they're not that bad, and it's better than smoking. And people said that you can quit smoking by using electronic cigarettes as well. And instead of quitting smoking, I became addicted to electronic cigarettes. And this addiction was maybe like more potent than cigarettes, because you can smoke electronic cigarettes like anytime, anyway. It's limited only by battery life and the juice or like liquid that you're using. But you can always buy new liquid, new port, new like system that you're using for that one, or you can just charge it if like it's a rechargeable device. And since electronic cigarettes are not that helpful to get rid of, I continued with this addiction to like I think my master's course, and sometimes during that time I switched to normal cigarettes, but nah, it's not the point of this video. Then I saw that I was really addicted to cigarettes, and I started to drop this bad habit. I mean, I wanted to start to drop this bad habit because with nicotine comes all the bad side effects, and you're inhaling stuff, because anything that is occurring in your lungs instead of like normal air is bad, whether it be smoke from cigarettes or like steam from e-cigarettes, etc. And but as for their addiction that I have in my life, from my perspective, it wasn't the nicotine addiction. It wasn't like a chemical element addiction. It was more like a psychological addiction. And talking to you about all addictions, we as a human beings can get addicted to pretty much anything, starting from things like chemicals, drugs, alcohol, or like ending with doom scrolling, social networks, shorts video, TikTok, reels, whatever you have, shorts. And talking about addiction for shorts videos, I don't really have that one. I can find myself like watching short videos, but I can simply just drop it off to not watch it anymore, because I think that's just a waste of time, maybe sometimes. What addiction is in general? I want to ask myself this question and ask you this question. What is addiction in general, from your perspective? Make it down in the comments. And like, for me, addiction is a thing that brings you joy, brings you some good emotions after you consume something or like do something, whatever it would be, digital content like videos or chemicals. Is it necessary to even have an addiction to something? Well, I don't know. Could you call an addiction that you're like doing certain stuff because you can hear people getting addicted to certain things like gym, running, do side projects, hobbies, listening to music, making models, stuff like this, whatever. And the most important thing about addiction that you can not just simply stop doing this. And is addiction really a bad thing? And the answer is, for me, from my perspective, addiction is bad. Addiction is bad when you cannot live without it. If you have addiction where you just can stop at any time and you don't feel anything that would bring you back to that process, like if you don't feel the moment that you either could not live or like you have a panic attack, so you just have like bad mood and you do certain stuff that you're going back and you're not realizing that you're going back to that stuff, it's bad. But if this addiction is something that makes your life better without strongly getting affected by it, so what I mean is you can just stop doing certain stuff and you would not do this anymore, whatever you like. I mean, you just don't want to do this and you would not do this anymore. You don't feel like this necessity of doing certain stuff over and over again. And I think this addiction could be at least called good, but I don't know if you can call this an addiction, but sometimes maybe you can. And if you're getting addicted to work or some healthy habits, it's good. But overall addiction is bad. So yeah, that's my point of view. And when I noticed that I got addicted, I started to think how I can get rid of it. Because in my case, it was like psychological addiction, not nicotine ones, as I thought and as I said. Like every time I got a good episode in my life, I want to celebrate, I want to use some cigarettes, I want to smoke some cigarettes to make a psychological marker that, hey dude, that was a good thing. Or if I have something bad and I want to unwind and like forget about stuff and even get something like good emotions from, or when I in a bad situation, I would smoke to make a psychological marker that yes, that was bad, but I will smoke and I can just reset, readjust and everything will be fine. When I started to notice that I became addictive, it started to bug me and I wanted to find a way how I can get rid of it. And if you have a good will and if you have a strong willpower, you can stop doing things that you feel addicted to. And you should like quickly get yourself off the action that you're doing. Like if you stop doing something and you go back to it without noticing it, you should drop it immediately. That's if you have the strong willpower. But if you don't have the willpower to stop like instantly scrolling Instagram, TikTok, if you don't have the willpower to stop drinking or smoking, if you don't have the will, you really have to look for results of continuously doing that stuff that you are addicted for. For example, I stopped drinking alcohol about 3, maybe like 2.5 years ago, and drinking alcohol is counted as normal in our human society. It's like a social glue that brings people together at bars like or during celebrations. For others, it helps them to forget about real stuff and problems. For many, alcohol serves as a psychological marker as well. I have even friends that couldn't celebrate birthdays without it, because that's how they've done it, and that's how it was in their family since like their young age. People gather together and drink and eat to celebrate something. That's counted as normal. I started drinking in my like early university years. I wasn't a heavy drinker. I drank occasionally with my friends and during like celebrations, conferences and stuff. And I drank just enough to avoid a hangover, like this heavy head in the morning. But I know people who struggle to stop once they start drinking, and that can seriously impact their health and their future life, because you will lose a day after your party because you will recover from it. So one day I occasionally stumbled upon a video that ultimately got me to quit drinking. And what was it? It was a video about effects of alcohol on your body. I started to look deeper from biology and from chemical side, and I found how alcohol could impact your cognitive functions, damage your brain tissues, lead to memory loss, harm liver and other organs, especially with heavy drinking, and also how to recover from it. I knew it back in the days, but I need at least some things need to be said or viewed or heard to make an actual impact on you. So as for alcohol, it's pricey. For alcohol recovery, it's pricey and it's time consuming, and recovering from alcohol effects required significant efforts like medication, exercise, something more. I forget what was it, but it was something more, I swear. When I weighed the cost of recovery against the benefits of one-time drinking, I decided that it wasn't worth it. I mean, as lazy as I am, I'd like to optimize, simplify things, and it was the simplest result to just quit drinking rather than doing all that recovery phase over and over again. And the same logic applies to cigarettes. The recovery from smoking involves physical effort, time, more medications and stuff. And ultimately, I realized that avoiding these habits altogether saved me a lot of trouble and simply more efficient and healthier in the long run. I'm still sometimes using cigarettes, but I'm not that addicted to them as I was a couple of years before. But there is one problem that arises from stop doing all of that stuff. And the problem is how to get rid of the negative things, but keep the positive things in. And if we're talking about alcohol and drinking, so how to attend parties and stuff like gigs, etc. if you're not drinking alcohol. Sometimes you're seen as a lunatic because, why the heck do you come to the party and you're not drinking alcohol? And you have to engage into that celebrations or just gigs somehow. And I found a solution. I started to drink tea, coffee, and maybe non-alcoholic cocktails, even sometimes milkshakes, and it was another good thing that people altogether started to joke and laugh around. For me, it was the only pros, so I abandoned the alcohol, but I brought something better in my life, and it's just another thing to joke around. It was very good. But if we're talking about the psychological side, so when I dropped down the cigarettes, it was really hard for me because I got a tough situation in my life. For example, when my cat died, I got really depressed and I got really sad about it, and I stopped smoking cigarettes. So what should I do? How can I cope with this stress? And I actually didn't find a solution for this psychological addiction for myself. What I'm doing is wrong, and I'm trying to suppress my emotions as I always do. But it's not a good thing that people shouldn't do this. People shouldn't suppress your emotions and feelings. Instead, you should put them into different channels. If you're feeling bad, you should focus on the other stuff. It's simple to say, I know, but it really works. So if you have work, you can do work. If you go into the gym, you should go to the gym. If you're switching from one point to another, it will help to cope with the stress, with sadness, with all the negative stuff that you have. Just to find something that you can do, you can play games, you can just clean up your apartments, clean up the house, you can prepare a meal, make food for yourself, anything that could detach you from negative emotions. It really helps. Sometimes when it's really hard to suppress my emotion, I try to just do something else and it eventually goes away. And if I have something good in my life, so I said that when I had bad situations, I smoked, and when I had good situations, I smoke. And when I have something good, I just feel happy, and I don't need cigarettes to work as a marker for something that happened. So I realized that I don't need any markers in my life. And people actually don't need them as well. People don't need any psychological markers in their life to mark something. because people tend to do that kind of stuff for everything, but I think I will talk about these psychological markers in another video, because I thought about it recently, and I think it's the topic of the whole video. Maybe it wouldn't be like 30 minutes long. I mean, I wanted to make it shorter, but every time I thought about something, then another thought comes in mind, another thought, and the video prolongates like 15 minutes or so. And I think, yeah, this is the end of today's video of Nobody Wants Me, but I still want to say, and thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you liked it, punch the like button and make a comment about your day. How was your day? Was it good or was it bad? I hope you had a great day and you would have a great day tomorrow. Thank you guys again so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you want to see more of me talking about different stuff, playing different other games. And don't forget to ring a bell if you want to get notified when the new video is ready. So, as always, Hippos out.
You're looking pretty good today.